Good morning, students. In today's lecture, we will discuss the remaining part of the poem Upagupta, written by famous Indian English and Telugu poet Rabindranath Tagore. Students, in our previous lecture, we discussed the beginning stanzas from the poem Upagupta, and in those stanzas, we discussed that this poem Upagupta is about the strength of a character or a disciple of Buddha whose name was Upagupta. He was a true ascetic. He had wonderful self control upon himself. Once a beautiful and very young girl invited Upagupta to her house, but Upagupta simply looked at her with pity, and he said that he would come to her house when the right time comes for it. So, this poem is in fact about the uh, strength of character of great Buddhist monk who was Upagupta. So, let's begin with the remaining part of the same poem Upagupta. In our previous lecture, we discussed that the young and beautiful girl invites Upagupta to her house by saying that the dusty earth is not a fit bed for him, for the Buddhist monk Upagupta. Let's now continue with the same poem and with next stanza. The young ascetic answered, "Woman, go on your way. When the time is ripe, I will come to you." Suddenly, the black night showed its teeth in a flash of lightning. The storm growled from the corner of the sky, and the woman trembled in fear of some unknown danger. A year has not yet passed. The young ascetic answered, "Woman, go on your way." So today we are beginning with next stanza after the woman asks Upagupta to come to his house because she says that earth is not a fit bed for him. On In the reply to her question or her forcing to him to come to her house, Upagupta replies to her that, "Woman, go on your way. When the time is ripe, I will come to you." In this line, the ascetic Upagupta replies to the woman to go on her way. And he says that when the time is ripe, I will come to you. Then Upagupta says to her that he will visit her house when the time is ripe for it, or when the correct time comes, then he will come to her house. Suddenly, the black night showed its teeth in a flash of lightning. The storm growled from the corner of the sky, and the woman trembled in fear of some unknown danger. The poet Rabindranath Tagore says that suddenly the black night showed its teeth in a flash of lightning. He says that a thundering storm, black night showed its teeth in a flash of lightning means suddenly a thundering storm means tufan. A thundering storm began to blow from the corner of the sky. The storm growled from the corner of the sky, and the woman trembled in fear of some unknown danger. He says that when the thundering storm began to blow from the corner of the sky, it frightened the woman and she began to tremble in fear. When the storm started growling and it started blowing, then the woman trembled because of fear of some unknown danger. A year has not yet passed. It was evening of a day in April in spring season. The branches of the wayside trees were full of blossom. Gay notes of a flute came floating in the warm spring air from afar. The poet says that a year has not yet passed for that incident, and he says that it was an evening in the month of April in spring season, and the season was of spring. The branches of the wayside trees were full of blossom. Gay notes of a flute came floating in the warm spring air from afar. The poet says that sometime later it was the spring season, and the branches of the trees, branches means tania, the branches of the trees were full of blossom. Branches of the trees were full of blossom means the branches were full of leaves and fruits. Gay notes of a flute came floating in the warm spring air from afar. Gay notes means music of happiness. Gay notes. Gay means happiness. Notes means music. Of a flute came floating in the warm spring air from afar. The poet says that in the pleasant spring air, in the pleasant or in the air that was full of happiness, the happy music, the music full of happiness of the flute was coming from a far place. The citizens had gone to the woods for the festival of flowers. The poet says that all the people of the city, citizens means all the people of the city, they had gone to the woods to celebrate festival of flowers. From the mid sky gazed the full moon on the shadows of the silent town. From the mid sky gazed the full moon on the shadows of the silent town. And the poet says that the full moon was shining high up in the middle of the sky. The full moon was shining in the shining very high in the middle of the sky. The young ascetic was walking along the lonely street while overhead the lovesick quails uttered from the mango branches their sleepless plaint. The young ascetic was walking along the lonely street, and at that time, the same young ascetic disciple of Buddha, he was passing through the lonely streets of the town, while overhead the lovesick quails uttered from the mango branches their sleepless plaint. He says that the poet says that Upagupta was passing through the lonely streets of the town, and at the same times, the quails, the beautiful birds, quails, they were sitting in the mango orchards. They were sitting in the mango on the mango branches in the orchard of mango, and they were singing their songs of love sickness in the silence of the night. Upagupta passed through the city gates and stood at the base of the rampart. And the poet says that at that very time when the quails were singing in the mango orchards, they were singing the songs of love sickness. At that time, Upagupta passed through the city gates and stood near the outer wall of the city, of the town. Was that a woman lying at his feet in the shadow of the mango grove? Here is a question by the poet. Was that a woman lying at his feet in the shadow of the mango grove? The monk, when he sees a woman lying near his feet in the shadow of the mango grove, he thinks that is this a woman? Is this the same woman who is lying at his feet in the shadow of the mango trees? Struck with black pestilence, her body spotted with the sores of smallpox. He says that there were sores. Sores means fode. There were sores all over her body. Struck with black pestilence, her body spotted with the sores of smallpox. Her whole body was covered with the sores of smallpox. She had been hurriedly removed from the town to avoid her poisonous contagion. The ascetic sat by her side, took her head on his knees. So, that same woman who was forcing Upagupta to come to her house in some time ago in past, the same woman was lying at the feet of Upagupta. Her body was full of spots and sores of smallpox. She had been driven away from the city because of that contagious disease means chut wali disease. So she was driven away from the town or the city because of her contagious disease. छूत वाली बीमारी करके उन्होंने बाहर कर दिता सी टाउन वाले ने. She was driven out of the city or town because of her contagious disease of smallpox. She had been hurriedly removed from the town to avoid her poisonous contagion. The ascetic sat by her side, took her head on his knees. So the ascetic sat down by her side. He took her head on his knees and moistened her lips with water and smeared her body with sandal balm. Then the young ascetic Upagupta, he put water. He moistened her lips with water means he put water on her lips and smeared her body with sandal balm. He put water on her lips and he smeared her body with sandal balm. He put water on her lips and smeared her body with sandal balm means then the ascetic, he put water on her lips and applied balm. Smeared balm means he applied balm on her body. He applied sandal balm on her body. Who are you, merciful one? Asked the woman. Then the woman asked him, who are you, merciful one? Merciful means a person who is full of pity, who takes pity on others. Pity means taras karna. Mercy means pity means taras. Then the woman asks him, who are you, merciful one? She asks him, O merciful one, who are you? The time at last has come to visit you, and I am here, replied the young ascetic. The time at last has come to visit you. And then the young ascetic replies that perhaps she remembered that he once told her that when the ripe time will come, then he will visit to her house, and I am here. And he says to her that now the right time has come, and so he is here, replied the young ascetic. So the young ascetic replied to her question that who are you, merciful one? Then he tells her that now it's the right time for his visit to her house, so he has come to her. So this is the explanation of the remaining stanzas of the poem Upagupta. So students, from this discussion it becomes clear that the poem is a kind of tribute to the great Buddhist monk whose name was Upagupta. So today we have covered this poem, explanation of this poem. Tomorrow we will continue with our next lecture on some next topic. Thank you. Thank you very much.